Grand Theft Auto 6 was mentioned again, this time by Strauss Zelnick on the Take-Two Interactive earnings call. They are again the parent company of Rockstar Games. GTA 6 continues to trend on social media as an announcement did not occur any time before the Take-Two Interactive earnings call and obviously was not made during the Take-Two Interactive earnings call. But we also got some hints and clues that GTA 6 could be announced soon and that Rockstar is working on an awful lot at the moment, which could indicate GTA 6 is on the way soon. So let's dive into the Take-Two Interactive earnings call, where at the very end they took questions and answers, and one of them was about Grand Theft Auto 6, and Strauss Zelnick actually responded. So this came from Omar Dessosky, Bank of America Merrill Lynch analyst, who said, "Hi, thanks very much. There's been some debate in the market as to the size of total addressable market for Grand Theft Auto 6, which was discussed in a blog post by Rockstar because it will launch into the Gen 9 console cycle. Whereas Grand Theft Auto 5 launched slightly before PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were launched. So will such a graphically intense game be as performance on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 or even the Nintendo Switch as it will be on Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5? And does streaming technology have the potential to make older generation console and mobile devices capable of a satisfactory performance for such a state-of-the-art game?" You can see there's a little bit of translation error there. I think he was a little bit confused because he says, if you're asking will the launch of the next update in the Grand Theft Auto series, which has been discussed by Rockstar in a blog post, which is basically their newswire, as you pointed out, have a salutary effect on the launching of upcoming platforms. So he was really confused altogether, which led to this follow-up question, which was, no, it's really the question of whether the installed base, we should think about the installed base as the Xbox One, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, plus Xbox Series X, PS5, or only Xbox X and PS5, in which case the TAM would be smaller. And he said, so Rockstar hasn't talked about any details at all about the next generation of Grand Theft Auto, so there'll be more information to come. But I have no doubt when that moment comes, and there is another iteration that we'll be releasing to a very robust market. Okay, so basically the question I think he was asking was, would Grand Theft Auto 6 also release on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, or would it only release on the Generation 9 consoles, PS5, and the new Xbox Series X and S? Because what Rockstar did with Grand Theft Auto 5 is they released the game right before the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 were coming out, literally about a month before. So it was kind of like, why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just wait a month and then just only make it for the new systems? Now, if I was a betting man, I would say that Rockstar is trying to get the game in as many people's hands as possible for multiple reasons. Number one, players might not have the newest generation consoles right now. They might not be on a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X or S. And number two, it also gives them the ability to sell the game again. Like we've seen with GTA 5, how it came out for PlayStation 3, PS4, PS5. If they decide to wait, then they lose out on an opportunity to get it in the hands of more players, which in turn makes the game more popular, which is obviously what we saw with GTA 5, and also because it's a business, it ends up making Rockstar more money. Now, the only downside with that is Rockstar's going to have to make the game for the Xbox One and the PS4, which at this point in time are outdated systems, which in turn would affect the graphics, the performance, the capability, the features, all the things that could go into making GTA 6 an incredible title. Now, there was one follow-up question that Omar got to ask. He said, okay, could I just ask a quick follow-up? In terms of your capitalized development expenses, do those typically accelerate as you head closer to the launch of a big game like Grand Theft Auto 6, or are they relatively flat over time? And Laney Goldstein, who is the CFO, said it depends on what games are being worked on and how the big teams are working on the game. So over time, the balance on the balance sheet will go up and down based on what titles are releasing and how the games are being developed. But it doesn't go in line with any one specific game. There's a lot of games being worked on. And as Carl mentioned, there's a large amount of titles that are in the pipeline, and most of those are capitalized other than our mobile titles. So essentially, Omar was, I guess in a roundabout way, trying to be like, is there a way we can figure out that GTA 6 is about to be announced? Can we just look into how much money you're spending and then all of a sudden we're going to get our answer? And basically, they kind of said, no, not really. It goes up and down, it fluctuates, and we don't really have one specific game that's going to, send something through the roof when it comes to development expenses. They're working on a lot of games at once. That to me is not really surprising. Now, one thing that was interesting is Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick did end up hearing the frustration from the hashtag Save Red Dead Online community, and this kind of directly relates to GTA 6, as we'll talk about. So Strauss Zelnick actually spoke to IGN ahead of Take-Two Interactive's earnings call, and he confirmed that he was aware of the community's frustration, but also added that fans would need to look to Rockstar for a response. He said, Rockstar Games talks about the updates that are coming, and we're working on an awful lot at Rockstar Games. I've heard the frustration. It's flattering that they want more content, and more will be said by Rockstar in due time. So even though he was talking about Red Dead Online here, he specifically said that Rockstar are working on an awful lot. So I think the reason why Grand Theft Auto Online updates have slowed down, which is something we'll talk about in a future video, and also why Red Dead Online has seemingly been abandoned over the last year or so, is because Rockstar is probably working so much on Grand Theft Auto 6. They already made an official announcement of its confirmation, even though we don't know the title of the game or anything like that. So now they can basically just work on the project so that we can get to experiencing more about the actual title itself. So that's really everything we got from Rockstar and Strauss Zelnick over the last couple of days. A lot of people thought that on Friday, May 13th, we were going to be getting some information from Rockstar, as that was sort of the Friday before the Take-Two Interactive earnings call. Many people believed they were going to be making that announcement then, or that we would see something significant on Monday when Take-Two Interactive did have the earnings call. The only thing that Rockstar did is they celebrated the 10-year anniversary of Max Payne 3, and that they're going to announce a new version of the iconic soundtrack coming later this year to digital streaming platforms and limited edition vinyl. That obviously has nothing to do with GTA 6. They also ended up reposting an announcement from PlayStation that there was 1 month left for PS5 owners to get GTA Online for free via the console store. So they ended up making that announcement. And then they ended up posting a handful of pictures from people in the community. So because none of that had to do with GTA 6, obviously when stuff like that happens on social media platforms and websites, Grand Theft Auto 6 starts to go viral and starts trending, and that's exactly what we saw. As over the last couple of days, GTA 6 has just been trending non-stop. So we usually see GTA 6 trending on social media whenever there's big Rockstar announcements that don't involve that, or there's various news or information or leaks or speculation, and it looks like this was the case in this instance too, but no official announcement. We're just going to have to wait and see. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below on everything that is developed over the weekend, from a lack of an announcement on Friday to Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick answering some questions about it on Monday, and everything else in between. Again, I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.